Hi, my name is Anya Zolyniak. I am a graduating senior in the School of Foreign Service, majoring in international politics with a concentration in international law, institutions, and ethics. And I am submitting, or have submitted, my honors thesis in international politics to this year's Georgetown Colloquium. I selected to produce an honors thesis because I was inspired by claims likening fresh water to oil and increasing concerns regarding global water scarcity. My thesis really delves into how water is defined and conceptualized at an international level. Fresh water, unlike oil, unlike virtually every other resource on Earth, is a unique, non-substitutable, and necessary precondition for all life. In delving into this topic, I chose to focus my research on the specific conceptualization of water as an item of trade in and of itself, and specifically in the context of international bulk water trade. Now, this trade, which involves the transboundary obtainment and transfer of water resources that are valued and appraised in some way, has been identified by some as a means of sustainably balancing both increasing water scarcity and intensifying global water demand. Opponents of bulk water trade, however, argue that it threatens the preservation of water as a human right and a limited, unique natural resource. Diverging from this normative debate, my thesis investigates how parties to bulk water trade relations approach water as an object of such trade. And it does so by compiling the first ever collection of successfully executed instances of bulk water trade at the international level and analyzing case studies representative of varying approaches to such trade. I conclude in my thesis that although water is in fact discernibly treated as an economic good in the context of bulk water trade, this treatment is a lot more nuanced and flexible than is suggested by bulk water trade's detractors. I also found that successful instances of bulk water trade offer key insights that could significantly inform the development of an international framework for such trade, and created typologies for varying definitions of water that are articulated in various international legal regimes. Now, I came across this topic of bulk water trade, which is very, very niche, by reaching out to and speaking with experts in the broader field of water law. And one of them recommended an article on the topic, and I was instantly fascinated with the question surrounding treating water as an item of trade in and of itself. Now, that conversation happened during sophomore fall, and I did some preliminary research into the topic, identified a thesis advisor, and then wrote a proposal for an honors thesis on bulk water trade, which was ultimately accepted. From that point, I spent a lot of my time during the first half of my research creating research design and doing background research to determine how I could uniquely contribute to the field. That initial background research was extremely important because it led me to decide to produce the first ever collection of successful international bulk water trade instances. I then worked very closely with my thesis advisor during the second half of my research process, and I focused that second half on analyzing case studies and bulk water trade agreements in order to answer my two guiding research questions, which were: one, how do parties to international bulk water trade relations approach water as the object of such trade? And two, how can past and present instances of bulk water trade inform the development of a framework for the regulation of such trade at the international level? I really enjoyed the experience of coming across extremely niche information and factual tidbits that I would never otherwise learn about, like the fact that there's an annex to the Peace Treaty of Italy after World War II that solely addresses the transfer of water from one tiny town in what is today Slovenia to a commune in northern Italy. And I also don't really think I fully appreciated how difficult it was to create a well-founded and defended research methodology when I first took on this project. All in all, though, looking back, although it was difficult and challenging, I'm really happy I chose to do an honors thesis, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who's interested.